I now would like to call upon Mr. Bharath GC on stage, but before that I'd like to introduce him to you all. He's a business delivery manager at Testiandra Software Solutions, ex-academic counselor for international students in an edtech company, ex-founder member of MyTableau Dubai, business development manager at Traction Technologies, ex-director at Sealy Breakers Training Solutions Private Limited, ex-founding member Inspiration Unlimited. But apart from this, he is also a founder of the LOC, volunteer at Isha Foundation, volunteer at Rebuild India. He had led the i3 platform, which impacted over 1 million lives positively across different sections of the society. Also, he has addressed over 7 lakh people from all walks of the life across India and UAE, hosted TV shows for national channel, interviewed on Big FM, Big 92.7 FM, Radio City 91.1 FM for his contributions on social impact, featured on various newspapers recognizing the social impact, and mentored thousands of youths around leadership, entrepreneurship, career and personal lives. So ladies and gentlemen, join your hands together in welcoming Mr. Bharath GC on stage, please.
Thank you so much for a lovely introduction. I really appreciate it. And ladies and gentlemen, very good evening first of all, and very good evening to the dignitaries here. I'm first of all pleased at this point of time to have been included me as one of the guests to share some experience of mine with all the experienced people over here. So I hope I'm the last speaker, or do we have any speakers left? I guess we are all done, and because being the last speaker is the hardest thing in life to do. Trust me on that. Because the first speaker gets a chance to, take away the attention. And I'm unfortunate that I could not listen to the two gentlemen here. I hope they definitely has added a lot of value seeing the smiles at your faces. And also powerful speech by Sandhya ma'am. It's very impossible to have deliver a speech at the last. There are 3 things which are impossible in life. One is to climb a mountain which is, towards this side. I mean, you can't climb it, it's very difficult. To kiss a person who is bending towards that side. And to deliver a speech at the last, when people are also hungry to go for food. When the food is waiting to serve your stomachs, and me coming at the last to speak, and people would be speaking. They'll be seeing the watch, so it's very impossible to talk, but still I'll make an attempt to do the justice for the role that Mr. Satish and his co-founders have assigned me to share a couple of insights. So I'll not take much time, I promise you on that. Alright, I'll try to put a smile on your faces. That's something I also second with what Sandhya ma'am just shared, along with the 2 tech speakers that I couldn't hear. So I come as a combination of both. So I have vast experience in addressing people across the country. So I'm grateful to God that God allowed me an opportunity to address 700,000 people across the country, talking to from all age groups, from even talking to LKG people. Alright, so we have had programs, mother and child programs, talking to kids, talking to mothers, simultaneously conducting programs to have an addressed entrepreneurs at various levels, including across the country, and also got an opportunity to work in Dubai for 2 years. So that amasses my experience. And so that gives me a psychological aspect of it, and currently I'm employed with the technical company, I'm an IT company as one of the delivery managers, so I understand the tech side of it. So hopefully I summarize the package of what they have all delivered. I am sure they have covered every aspect of it. I'm just trying to garland what they have already spoken. Alright, so that's the efforts that I'm trying to put. And one aspect that I always, first and foremost, before I even start, I want to genuinely from the bottom of the heart appreciate each one of you over here, because taking your time on a midweek and coming in this Bangalore traffic, to attend an event, this itself, deserves a big round of applause. So I really appreciate a big round of applause for yourself. I request a big round of applause, please. I have learned one thing from my mentor, who always taught me one thing. A clap and a slap works only when it is given tight. As teachers and principals, I'm sure you would have experienced it in the real time. You would have slapped someone, only then they would have realized सही बोला था मैम ने. Alright, so that is why it's important for us to clap. ಚಪ್ಪಾಳೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಕಪ್ಪಾಳೆ ಜೋರಾಗಿ ಹೊಡೆದ್ರೇನೆ effective. Can we have a big round of applause for yourself, please? Alright, that's wonderful. Thank you so much. Alright, so I just have quick insights that I learned with a lot of books that I've read. Of course, we have dignitaries, we have principals who have taught a lot of people. I have some questions for you, if you don't mind. Shall I? I know it's very hard to be a student when you're a principal. Alright, but still, I'm so sorry. Mike's also got off. Alright, so can I ask you a question, please? Yes, no?
Yes.
Sure?
Yeah.
Okay. So, let's say around 1,000 years back, what do you think was the contribution of India's GDP to the global GDP?
23%.
Sorry?
23%.
23%, okay. Any other answers? What do you think is the, all of you understand GDP, I'm sure, right? So let's say we have a family and we are like 4 of us are working and we, as a family we make like 100 rupees. So let's say I contribute 25 and my, parents contribute each 25 and my spouse contribute 25. So it's like GDP of the family is like, I'm just giving you a rough figure. It's not a, technical answer, but it's like a contribution of me is like 25 rupees for the family GDP. Likewise, India as a GDP, likewise the globe as a GDP as well, right? So what do you think was the contribution of India to the global GDP 1,000 years back? Once, sir, your name?
Anand.
Anand sir told that it was 23%. Anyone else? Sir, are you an economics professor?
No, commerce, sir.
Commerce, okay. Alright, so any others, teachers also can compete. Take a guess, wild guess, it may be right, wrong, anything, that's totally fine. 2 more answers, jaldi, fast, hungry. Any other answers? Take a guess. Right now, India's contribution to the global GDP right now, I'm really not sure of the exact figure. It can be, 4-5%. I'm not sure of it, but it's in single digit. And the most advanced country or the most, let's say, superpowered nation like US or Japan, let's say US, their contribution right now to the global GDP, to give you a reference, it's around 13 to 14%. So India was supposedly the most advanced nation 1,000 years back or 2,000 years back, according to what we have read. So what do you think would be the contribution of India's GDP to the contribution of globe back then? So you want to go with lesser number or higher number? Higher number, okay. So sir told 23%. How many of you want to go with 30%? Okay. How many of you want to go with 28%? Okay. So how many of you want to go with between 23 to 30? Okay, 30 to 40? Okay, 40 to 50? That's very optimistic. Okay, 50 to 60? No? Okay, less than 20? And rest of you? Okay, fantastic. Okay, less than 10? Okay, so it's a staggering number. India's contribution to the global GDP was 34%. This is the documented, recorded. That's where I've read. I'm not quoting my emotional numbers, but it's a fact. 1,000 years back, and then invasions started happening slowly, gradually, over a period of time. And before Mughals entered, it had come down to 28%. Before Mughals entered, just when they were entering. And when British entered, just like 250 years back or 270, whatever the exact number right now, just before the British entered, the India's contribution to the global GDP was reduced to 24%. So when Mughals were there, they almost looted like 4% of India's GDP. And when British left India in 1947, India's contribution to the global GDP had come down to staggering 2.3%. Just 200 years, and they just, looted everything. And India, with that poor condition, and the story doesn't end there. India was completely down. India had a poor story, the narrative was very poor, the people didn't have food, people were dying, famine, a lot of things had happened, right? Slowly, India started coming back. And thanks to the generation of teachers and principals, I don't know which generation, we have a diversified crowd here. Maybe some of you are, 50s born, 60s born, 70s born, 80s born. Some of you are maybe young professors here with 90s kids, all right? But this generation of people between those 40s born and the 70s to 80s born, the highest focus, especially the south of India, even the north of India, but majorly the south of India, was education. People, like how Sandhya ma'am mentioned rightly, that point of time there was a necessity, there was a need, and people were obsessed with education. They wanted either engineer, doctor, BCom, whatever, but education hona chahiye. We need education. Even the 7th standard guy, even the, irrespective of whatever the politics that happens today, the kind of blame game that is happening, irrespective of whatever it is, alright? Back then, whatever the corruption was there, not there, I don't know, I don't want to comment, alright? Irrespective of it, things were progressively moving. And trust me, because of the previous generations of immense efforts, today India, despite getting down to staggering of 2.3 contributions GDP to the global GDP, today India and Pakistan simultaneously got the freedom, but the two nations, two lands, freedom at the same time. And if you see India today, we are at the top of the world. Not telling by, of course, by numbers wise, we will still reach there. But take any Fortune 500 companies, majority of the CEOs, you will find Indians to be there. Am I right, Captain? And why are Indians there? Because of the teachers and the principals of that generation who put the day in and day out efforts when people interested, not interested, whatever issues they had, they brought them to school. The parents put that efforts. So you take this, any of this, Google's, I guess we have had people from Google or CEO Sundar Pichai or HCL or any of the top Fortune 500 companies. They are not just there as employees. Of course, there are like tons of employees, no doubt on that. But the CEOs, the top leadership is already owned by an Indian. And not just that, even the political leadership at different countries are being owned by Indians. We have Rishi Sunak, the Indian origin, the Indian DNA is there as a Prime Minister. And not just that, even Vivek Ramaswamy in US, he was contesting for the US elections. May not be this time, but I'm sure someday he will also be there. But they're all from the south of India, the kind of the roots that we have developed, right? So what I'm trying to tell you is, first of all, I'm extremely proud of each one of you for the work that you have done. I'm not at all here to share any of the things. I'm just here to grab as much of energy as possible from all the immense experience that you have and immense blessings that you have towards me and all of us. I hope, the efforts that you guys have already put in, I hope, like with the addition of what Sandhya, I'm just referring to her talk because what she makes so much of sense, because the previous generation did it, and that's the reason why India is currently amongst the top 5 economies, if I'm not wrong. I don't know, I don't come back and later tell me, Acha, India is in top 10 right now. How could you make such a statement? Factually, I might be wrong, but at least to what extent I am aware of, India is amongst the top 5. India is expected to become $1 trillion economy in couple of years from now. I'm being very optimistic to become in couple of months, but at least in couple of years, India is optimistic towards becoming the $1 trillion economy. But at the same time, India is also at the high time the unemployment generation ratio. Alright, not because the people don't want to work, but at the same time, as Sandhya ma'am told, psychologically they are not in a need of it. One thing. Alright, on the other side, they are also unemployable. What education system we had 30 years back or 40 years back, some of the education institutions are trying to continue the same, despite a lot of efforts coming from principals and enterprising people like you. Alright, still there are some traditional systems that are still going on. Alright, so that needs to change because the country is changing, the people are becoming dynamic. Alright, the generation is becoming fast. earlier the generation gap used to be 10 years, 15 years. That used to be called as a generation gap. And over a period of time, the generation gap reduced to 10 years. Then later to 4 years. 6 years to 4 years. Now the generation gap comes every year. The second PUC student of this generation, she cannot relate to her younger sibling who is already in 10th standard. Because the degree student of this generation is not able to relate to a guy who is studying in 8th standard. Because the degree student is connected on Instagram and the 8th standard kid is using the Snapchat. Unless we talk their lingo, we will not be able to change their psychology, right? So that is where I feel there is an immense effort from organizations like QSER and Reviews.io, Rio Technologies. I really appreciate them and also appreciate you, because these young guys, these entrepreneurs, enterprising people like that arranges such kind of an event wherein you can come, learn, and also maybe further events. I don't know about their agenda plans, whatever it is. Alright, I hope I really because of irrespective of the schedule, I still made an attempt to come here because I'm personally connected to the mission of empowering the people. And that is where I feel is putting a lot of efforts in the entire organization, so that they can bring such kind of events to the right set of audience, maybe to your students, maybe to you, to the your faculties, so that what happens is, like how Sandhya ma'am told, the teachers also should be equipped. So nowadays the role of a teacher has become changed from being a teacher to becoming a facilitator. Because whatever you're going to teach, they already know one thing on Google, or maybe nowadays ChatGPT. Alright, so they can give us the better knowledge. But what they cannot give us is the essence and the experience what you bring in. They can give the information, the Google technology can give the information, but it cannot give the live example. Though it can give some examples, but it cannot give the emotional connect, emotional touch, and the direction what they need. That can give a generic information. So that is where you can work around. Maybe I guess I'm in no position to tell you what to do, but as with my little experience of addressing over 700,000 youth, I'm just sharing with you that more than teaching or anything else, so today's youth need that inspiration. They look forward for an inspiration in you. They look forward for an emotional connect in you. They want to see something what they have not seen on Instagram in their life, so that they can aspire to become that. I really hope and wish that our time and your time will be fruitful. I have nothing much to say. I wish to see our country progress and flourish. I am sure a lot of your students will be at a great positions already. And different companies, colleges, they might be entrepreneurs leading different biggest of the teams. I wish more and more such students be blessed, from your expertise and from your experiences and from your coaching and your teaching. Alright, I wish you all the best. God bless you all. Thank you so much. And the last thing, if I've hurt any of your emotions during the course of my speech, please forgive me, just like as you forgive your students and your kids. Alright, with that note, I thank you one and all. I thank the organizers for inviting me, and I thank my co-guests for listening to me with so much patience. Thank you so much, and big round of applause please for yourself for listening to me. Thank you so much.